So this is a typical spreadsheet in Microsoft Excel. You notice that there are these boxes here. These are referred to as cells, and they are divided. So vertically we have columns, and the columns are labeled A, B, C, D, E, and so on. And the rows are numerically ordered, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. It's also possible to add a new sheet. So if you go down to the bottom here and you click this little plus sign, you can add a new sheet. Now this is sheet 2. Go back to sheet 1. They look the same because we haven't done anything to them. But if you want to have multiple collections of data, that's a nice way to do it. So let's say we want to put some numbers in here. We want to add something in here. So that would be typical for a lab. Giving a heading is helpful. So my heading, I'm going to type the word number up here for a heading, and then I will type something very original. I'll call that value 1, and I'll call this next heading value 2. And now I'm just going to manually type in some numbers here. So for number, I'll type in 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then for value 1, I'll type in 0.9681, and I'll type in 1.3899, and let's see, 2.4 and 2.32. And then for value 2, I'm going to put in 3.2762, 3.09, 2.50888888, and 1.977. So the point of this is that you notice all these numbers, or at least the numbers in the second two columns, have a varying amount of digits to the right of the decimal place. And so maybe you want to kind of clean that up. So one thing you can do is if you can select a single cell, or you can select a column using the shift and the arrow key rather. So I select the column, and if I go up here to number, there's actually a increased decimal and a decreased decimal button. So if I hit increased decimal, you see that now I have uniformly 5 decimal places. And if I decrease it, it goes to 4, decrease it again, goes to 3, decrease it again, goes to 2. So this isn't actually changing the number, it's just rounding it for appearance sake. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not really changing the number, it just looks different for appearance. We can do the same for this column here, so maybe I'll give it 3 decimal places, something like that. Now another thing, just sort of a formatting thing, just to make this look a little nicer, I can select, let's say, that top row, and maybe I want to make it bold. So if I go up here to font, and I click this B symbol, that makes it bold. Another thing I can do, maybe I want to center this to make it, again, look a little nicer. So I can grab all these columns. So if I grab across the top, I'm grabbing all the columns. I also could just grab the numbers themselves. But if I grab the columns, then that applies everything. If I go to alignment, there's these different types of alignment. So if I click center, it'll center the content. So that looks a little bit nicer like that. There are a number of other things up here as well. This is maybe you want to put borders. So you can click on this borders button. See, all borders puts borders around everything. Different things you can do. Now you can actually also, let's say if I select this number 1 here, you can go to any of these little arrows here at the top, these settings. If you click on it, it brings up another window, and then all these options show up. So we have number, alignment, font, border, fill. You can color it in if you want. So for number, there's all these different categories here. So general doesn't really, it takes anything. Number, it tells it is a number, and then you can adjust the decimal places here. There's currency and accounting, so you can do your finances, date, time, percentage, fraction, scientific notation, text, and so on. So I'll just leave this one here as general. One last thing that can kind of come in handy, if you have a sequence, like here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 as a sequence. If I highlight all of those and then I put the cursor down in the bottom right-hand corner, so it makes this dark plus sign here, if I push or select on that and then I drag, it'll continue to want to fill, keeping that same sequence. So, and it'll even show you the last number that it wants to put in. So you can see the number 20 is listed there. So I'm holding everything down, and then if I let go with the trackpad or the mouse, it now fills it in. So we get 1 through 20, and because this had a border on it, it actually fills in the border as well. If I want to get rid of all the borders, I could just select everything, go up here to border, and put no borders.